Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rebelwatch. I'm your host, Campbell Holmes. Alongside me today is sports reporter Sawyer Roveno and news anchor Walker Farmer. Thank you so much for joining us this week. As you can probably tell, Tay is not here this week, but that is okay. We miss you, Tay, but we're still going to be talking about Ole Miss sports and everything that we love to talk about. So, of course, we're going to start with our favorite Ole Miss football. We didn't have a game this past weekend, and that's okay because we are still celebrating Georgia, but we have a game, Florida coming up. What are y'all thinking about the game? Are you nervous? I'm very confident in them, but everyone's been saying it might be a trap game, like you were saying, Walker, before we started the show. How are you feeling about it?
I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie, just mainly because Florida looked so good beating LSU this past weekend. DJ Lagway, I kind of had a feeling, he didn't play versus Texas, but then once he came back from injury, we saw he played against Georgia, played fantastic against LSU, and then Florida really got a big win. They're thinking they can kind of build on that this weekend. I think Florida fans honestly have gotten a little overconfident after that win. I don't think it will be close. I think there's a possibility, but Ole Miss should win by 14 plus. Because people can't forget, we beat Georgia 2 weeks ago. We had the bye week at the right time, got healthy. Princely, a little bit of a revenge game, played there last year. I think it'll be another statement win for us. I think Lane Kiffin wants to prove something to the committee, continue to improve how well we are playing, not to focus on those beginning losses we had at the beginning of the season. Right. And I think Ole Miss is going to come out and play really well.
I was going to say, although Florida is 5-5, I do think they're a very good team. 4 out of their 5 losses their teams are currently in the top 15. So they do play some very good teams. Like you said, Lagway against LSU this last weekend went 13-26, 226 yards and that touchdown. I think he's looked really impressive so far in his freshman season. But like you were saying, I don't think that this is a team that Ole Miss can't handle. Go into the swamp early game. I think they'll be all right. I think it'll look good for them this weekend.
I think so too. And we also have, talked about all season, like timing is everything.
Yeah.
So I think the 11 a.m. is really going to help us. I also think Trey Harris being back is going to help us a lot. I'm really excited to see him back. I saw on Twitter, this is probably the healthiest team we will have going onto the field this season, which I think is needed. Like y'all said, Florida, not that intimidating, but after coming off such a great ego boost of beating Georgia and, thinking, oh my gosh, only 2 more games, 2 easy games, we make college football playoffs. It can get a little bit in their head. So I definitely think it's going to be a win. Not very close, but thinking ahead, we won't have a show before the Egg Bowl. How are y'all feeling about that? Because I'm being completely honest, very, very confident.
I'm very confident in that one as well. Mississippi State, I said it last show, it's not a very good team this year. I think not a lot to say about that. Come in here, we got them at home. I mean, game should just speak for itself. We should blow them out. That's what I'm thinking.
I agree, Walker.
Yeah, I've been an Ole Miss fan my whole life. I know the history of that rivalry. It usually is close no matter how good one team is or bad the other team is. But I think this year is kind of a different story because Ole Miss is just such a better team, 8-2 on the year. They're 2-8. I think even some State fans are kind of realizing that they want to be confident. Oh, we can beat Ole Miss.
Right.
There's not a good chance, especially at the Vaught, potentially winning that game to make the college football playoff. I just see no way where we lose that game.
Me too, and it's funny, like you said, State fans are kind of already realizing this might be a little bit of a blowout game. My cousin is a senior at State as well, so we're having a whole big Egg Bowl Thanksgiving, and we've already talked about it. Usually every Thanksgiving we're like, we're gonna win. No, I'm gonna win, but she's like, nah, y'all got it in the bag.
Hang on,
so
maybe not this year, maybe.
Right, I'm hoping that our confidence will pay off, but we're really excited for these 2 games, the rest of the football season. When we come back, we'll be talking about the rest of the college football games that happened last weekend. Stay tuned.
It's that time of the year again, fellas. When the mornings are hot, the afternoons are hotter, and football is on its way back. Now, games is won by the battles fought in August. Everyone that's not revered as the Ole Miss legend has been in your shoes before, trying to survive that Mississippi heat, competing for a spot, and knowing the sacrifice that it takes to make it in this league. You go into this money collection of men from 100 different places, and if you work, you emerge from it as one team with one goal and one heartbeat. The SEC awaits you. And if they don't know who you are now, they will soon.
Where are we gonna go?
Someplace warm. A place where the beer flows like wine. Where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano. I'm talking about a little place called
Oxford, Mississippi.
To see it is to believe it. You hear about it, but you just have to see the party.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Grove. The sound and fury are here. Getting out of toe down.
Pageantry, the pride, the pomp is unmatched and unrivaled.
This stadium has come unhinged.
This is what college football is all about.
Oh, as he gets walloped.
No coach is having more fun than Andrew.
This is the place to be in college football right now.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. Like we said, Ole Miss football didn't play last week, but a lot of teams did. Still more upsets, still more surprises. I want to talk about first, like we said before, Florida LSU. I wasn't expecting that one at all. I don't know why. I think seeing Florida play Texas and, you know, bless their souls, like Texas dominated. I was surprised to see them beat LSU, especially when LSU beat us. Were you able to watch the game?
I did watch the game, and unlike you, I actually wasn't super surprised just because I saw the way, like I mentioned earlier, Lagway played against Georgia, and then he was injured for the Texas game, so he actually didn't play. And I think I even mentioned it on last week's show how I thought they were kind of resting him because they knew they would get beat at Texas, but they had a solid chance against LSU, their rivals, at home. And then I think Florida just kind of made a statement. This season hasn't gone as they planned. You know, a little bit of a transition period, you know, new quarterback, DJ Lagway, but I think it just shows a lot of promise for next year's season. But hey, they had one of the toughest schedules in college football, had to play Georgia, had to play Texas, have to play Ole Miss, and then it looks like they'll make a bowl game even if we beat them. They have Florida State last game of the year, terrible game, so just really impressive win for them and just awesome that they honestly haven't played that bad for as tough as schedules they were drawn.
It's awesome to see that they got a little happiness before this weekend, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
I will say that is scary for when they play us. They did look really good. But another game I saw was the Tennessee game.
Yes.
Tennessee jumped out. They scored 10 in the first quarter. I was like, okay, maybe Tennessee has it in them. But then they were going in tied at half, and then Georgia scored two unanswered touchdowns at the end, and it was just too much for Tennessee. Although I think that they could still be in contention in the conversation for the college football playoff. The way Tennessee's been playing so far with their only losses, the other loss to Arkansas. But I think that it was just too much for them, honestly.
I agree. And also, everyone always says, there's so much to do with a football team, but in the end, it starts with a good quarterback. And I just think Tennessee's freshman quarterback is just, he's good, but he's not what they need. And
Right.
I think that, with a little more improvement, a little more work, I think they'll be better.
A little more experience.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would have to agree. I think Georgia just kind of showed that they're a little stronger and a little better. Another game that I watched actually and was surprised how close it was Texas-Arkansas. I mean, Texas almost lost that game.
Yeah.
Were y'all able to watch that game?
Yeah, I watched a decent amount of it, but I'm telling you, I've said it most of the year, I really don't think Texas is that good. I mean, I think they're a good team, but they're no better than us. They're no better than Bama or Georgia. Right. It's just they've honestly had a pretty easy schedule, especially for the SEC, their first year in the conference. I think they're getting a little overconfident, but the only tough game they've really played is Georgia at home, and they got absolutely demolished. And besides that, what's their best win? Maybe Arkansas this past weekend. Yeah. They really don't have a good win, so it'll be interesting to see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, if you look at how they played at home Arkansas was at home, 11 a.m. game, we had that exact same situation and beat them 63-31. So
that's true. And seeing, going back to Georgia, beating Tennessee, Georgia beating Texas. I wish we played either Texas or Tennessee so bad just to see what would happen because, I've said this before. My dad's a Tennessee fan. He's an alum there. He's even said, I guarantee you Ole Miss would beat Tennessee if they played them this season.
Yeah.
And I wish we could just see that just to see what would happen. But I don't know. But what are some other games that y'all are excited about?
I watched the Arizona State-Kansas State game in Manhattan. Arizona State went out 21-0 in the first half. Great defense. They're looking really good. Cameron Scatterbill, running back, in the Heisman talk, in my opinion at least, looks really good. But they definitely solidified themselves for the Big 12 championship this year. I know they got BYU this weekend at home in the Valley. And if they win this weekend, Arizona State could have the first undefeated home record for the first time in 20 years. And I think they're looking really, really good. Some people are even saying if they can win out, beat a BYU one-loss team, that they could even go to the college football playoff, which might be a little bit of a surprise. But I think that they had a really good weekend. I like the Arizona State game, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also BYU and Kansas.
Yeah.
That was an upset.
Yeah, another Big 12 game. Big upset. Kansas has a terrible record. They were 3-6 coming into the game, but they were honestly supposed to be a good team coming to the season with Jalen Daniels coming back. Great quarterback, very good, mobile. So I knew they had a chance in that game, especially BYU kept squeaking by teams the whole season, barely beat Utah last week, and a little bit of a controversial ending where a lot of people thought Utah should have won. But BYU got knocked out this week, and I think it just shows kind of how wide open the Big 12 is. Like you said, Arizona State, if they win against BYU this week, they'll make the college football playoff. Colorado, Coach Prime, what a season for them, going 4-8 last year. And now, if they win out, only having Kansas, well, you never know. They beat BYU last week. And then playing Oklahoma State to end the year. Colorado versus Oklahoma State would be, or against Arizona State. Yeah, it would be an awesome matchup. One of the teams would go to the college football playoff, first time ever. Yeah. But I will say, if they do win the conference champion, whoever it may be, it's looking like now they won't host, or get a bye in the college football playoff because Boise State's looking so good. And before the season with the new playoff rules, everyone was just thinking, oh, kind of that smaller school, group of 5 team can get in, but they won't get a bye. But that's not the rule. It's the top four conference champions. So a Boise State getting a bye in the playoff would sure be interesting.
Yeah, who knows what will happen. You never know with college football. Mm-hmm. When we get back, we're going to take it to basketball. We're going to talk about Ole Miss basketball. They have a game tonight, so be sure to go. When we come back, we'll be talking about them.
Going to be a hot one out there for move-in weekend, Ole Miss. Good luck this year, Rep.
You did it. You're home. I can't wait for you to discover the true meaning of hotty toddy. It's a cheer that connects us all to the red and blue. It's the moment that begins when you step on campus and continues long after you turn your tassel. I can't wait for you to discover your legacy and make the world a better place. Are you ready?
Ole Miss 18th NCAA tournament appearance.
This is fun, folks, as Baker's peeling it. Little heat check. Snow Collins for 3.
Said, I love Madison Scott.
Ole Miss Rebels are having a lot of fun, and you can see why.
NewsWatch is a student-run newscast that goes live every week, Monday through Thursday at 5 o'clock.
NewsWatch is more than just a college team. It is an immersive learning experience. You learn certain skills that help you in your future journalism career.
Rebelwatch is just a cool experience because I want to do something in the sports world. So just to get the chance to do that on a platform like this, it's just a great opportunity.
We are the only live station in the Oxford-Lafayette area, with Tupelo being the closest. We cover all local news.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. We're now switching it to basketball. Let's talk about Ole Miss men's basketball. They're hot right now. They're doing good. They look good. Obviously been playing some easy teams, but What are some players that maybe surprised you or just impressed you in general?
I would have to say mainly our two guards in Jalen Murray and Sean Padula played really well. Our two leading scorers right now, both are averaging around 14 points a game. But kind of at that topic, one person I'm kind of disappointed in is Matthew Morrell so far.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to say that I have not been very impressed with him.
Yeah, he's only scored about 9 points per game, but he was injured one game, so maybe he needs to get a little bit of time to kind of bounce back from that injury. He should be fine. He's a great player, but definitely am impressed with how Sean Padula and Jalen Murray have been playing, kind of making that that backcourt strong while Matthew Morrell's been out. So it's been impressive to see from that duo.
Yeah, I noticed we were talking about how Matthew Morrell was going to have a good year this year, and then I feel like he's been a little disappointing. But for me, I feel like it's been Jamin Brakefield holding down the middle. He's just been really solid all year. Consistent, that's what we need. I know Beard preaches consistency as well, so I feel like he's really brought that to the team so far in this early season that we have.
I was going to say, my MVP right now for the team is Brakefield. I think he, he's performing so well, but he also has that attitude in the court where he's leading the team. He's leading them to these points. He's leading them to this power they have and this attitude. So I've been really proud of him. But also, like I just said, they're undefeated right now. We've been playing really easy teams. Yeah. How are y'all feeling about when conference play comes in?
Our conference is really strong. Obviously, we got Alabama, Auburn, some traditional teams that continue to win and go to the tournament, top 4 every single year.
Right.
And it's hard to find a way to win, to beat those teams when Ole Miss isn't necessarily your basketball-heavy school. But they're starting to bring in new talent, new coaches, new roster. And I feel like I'm feeling very confident right now. I've gone to almost every single game here, and they're looking really well. They're looking really good.
And you were featured on.
I was featured on.
Did you win anything for that?
They wanted me to go out to a little practice, talk to the team. I didn't end up going. We're still gonna try and set that up.
Yeah.
But I was featured. They did want me out there a little bit. But I think they're looking really hopeful this season. I think they can produce this year. I think they're gonna be good. Yeah.
Walker, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think we could have a really good conference season, play really well. All of our big games are at home. Yeah. But kind of the story last year, we were actually undefeated in non-conference play and then kind of fell apart in conference play. But I think one reason because of that is we didn't really have anyone to challenge us in non-conference play. But at least this year, I know next week we're in a tournament in San Diego. We'll play BYU, and then depending on if we win or lose, we'll play NC State or Purdue. So we have some chances there. I know we play at Louisville later on, at Memphis. So I think we have a lot of good opportunities. I don't even think we need to go undefeated in non-conference play this year. Just get some solid wins, have no bad losses. And I think then once conference play starts, we could play really well and hopefully go on a run and make the tournament for the first time in 5 years.
I really hope so. And, like we said from last year also, not, kind of crashing and burning, it was also Chris Beard's first season with the Rebels. I mean, you got to give him some grace. So I think that, this time around, he knows his team well. He is able to get comfortable in Oxford and Ole Miss. So I really hope we're making the tournament. I'm pretty confident as well with conference play. I think it'll be good. And also, like you said, getting that challenge with Memphis and Louisville, I think it will give them that big-time energy to where, okay, we're ready for conference. We're ready to beat these teams.
And we don't want a football scare where we play Furman and Georgia Southern and play the first conference in Kentucky, boom, and we lose. Yeah. So we need a little bit of.
We're still a little salty about that one.
We need a hard game to play, and like you said, coming up, that should be good. Tough challenge that we got coming up.
Yeah, we're excited for the season. Good luck, Rebs. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the NBA and what we're doing this Thanksgiving break. We'll be back.
The dynamic freshman is starting to make his impact.
Dagger with the shot clock down to 1.
That 3-ball drops for Jamin Brakefield.
Fagan from the corner with a triple. Morrell for 3, and that's a big response. 3-ball, yes. This shooting lights out at the pavilion.
And give him one more. Wow. Alley. Ooh.
Well, you can't teach that. Well, that should give Ole Miss a boost.
Everyone has a ritual, that small thing that keeps us focused. A habit we never skip to clear our minds and elevate our performance.
But what do you do to keep your head in the game, to drown out the self-doubt and support your mental health? Because being your best isn't just about taking care of your body.
It's about taking care of your mind and mental health. Discover the resources you need to keep your mind focused and your mental health a priority.
We are rebels. For more than 160 years, we've been accomplishing the impossible, from conducting the world's first lung transplant to helping prove Einstein was right. From preserving the past to saving the future. We are Mississippi's flagship university, a place where passion and learning unite, where friends become family, where small-town charm meets world-class innovation. We are the University of Mississippi. We are Ole Miss.
Welcome back to Rebel Watch. We're still going to continue to talk about basketball, but this time let's talk about the NBA. Season's still going strong. We're, getting through it. One team that is really surprising me is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Everyone is obviously impressed by them. They're undefeated until Tuesday when the Celtics beat them. But, Celtics are pretty much the best in the East besides them. And also, it was a 3-point deficit. You can't win them all, but they did really good. And speaking of impressive teams, also, like I just said, the Boston Celtics, I think they're doing really good. Are there any other teams that y'all have been impressed by?
Yeah, I was going to say the Warriors look really good right now. Yeah, they're 11-3 to start the season. Steph Curry, I just keep seeing him everywhere. Always shooting, always producing. I just see him everywhere, and I just think the Warriors are actually going to maybe have a good run again this season. Yeah.
I'll tell you who I'm disappointed with. My team, the Milwaukee Bucks, 6-9 right now. I thought last year, Damian Lillard's first year, they were going to be good, but they had some injury problems. So I thought, okay, this year could be the year, get back to that, national championship status they had a few years ago. And they really just haven't played that well. I'm looking for Giannis to step up and play like he's been playing his whole career. Just not good so far.
Well, speaking of disappointing, the Philadelphia 76ers are having a rough start to their season. They're 2-12, worst record in the NBA. There was a video going around of Tyrese Maxey saying that Joel Embiid is a terrible teammate. Last night against the Grizzlies, Paul George got hurt yet again. I think they're having a really tough time, if you ask me. And the game against the Grizzlies they were behind by 20, got really close, and then it was, I think, maybe a 3-point game with like 20 seconds to go. 76ers have the ball. Joel Embiid just throws it out of bounds. Like nothing happened. Like there was somebody right there. So yeah. I think they're having a rough time. But one good thing is coming out of the 76ers, and that is Jared McCain. We're going to talk about rookies of the week. My rookie of the week is Jared McCain. He's in the starting lineup for the 76ers as a rookie. He's averaging 15 points per game, 2 rebounds, 2 assists. You don't see that much in rookies. And, going back to the draft, I, thought to myself, he needs one more year in Duke. Everybody thought so. Everybody was surprised when, he said that he was enrolling in the draft. I was a hater. I was a doubter. But I am so impressed and proud of him. He has really, shown a stamp in Philadelphia. He's going to be a long-time player there. I know you had a rookie of the week, Sawyer.
Dalton Connect. Yeah, he had 37 points, 1 steal, 5 boards in the win against Utah. I think he's just showing out. He's averaging 11 points per game right now. He's looking really good. I know last show I talked about him being my prediction for Rookie of the Year.
You might be right.
So far, I'm looking up right now, but yeah, he looked really good so far.
I saw this fun fact that Michael Jordan in his rookie year made 9 3-pointers. Dalton Connect did that in 1 game. I'm thinking he's gonna at least be a really good player.
He's no Michael Jordan, but he'll get there. Don't worry, he'll get there.
Who knows? He might get there. Walker, is there a rookie that you were impressed by?
I just want to talk more about Dalton Connect, kind of steal stars, because I've been so impressed with him, scoring 37 points a few nights ago. He did that a lot last year at Tennessee, but you didn't think that would translate over to the NBA. But just an amazing story, too. Dalton Connect 2 years ago was playing at Northern Colorado, had played there most of his career. But, the new era, transfer portal, everything, transferred to Tennessee, led them, was their leading scorer all year, to the Elite Eight, and then now was a lottery pick, playing good for the Lakers, a team that could go on a run. I will say, though, the script writers have a plan. With the Cavs playing good and the Lakers, LeBron's going to win his last championship against the Cavs. I'm calling it now. But
wait, if that happens, that'll be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Bronny's first year, bring him up for the finals. I can just see it happening right now.
Right, no, yeah. Another rookie that I also have been impressed by, obviously, is Zach Edey. Right now, he is hurt, and don't even get me started about Grizzlies injuries. Against the 76ers, we had 7 people out. 7. I'm not going to hate. I'm not going to say what I was thinking, but I think they're being a little soft right now. But nonetheless, Zach Edey has been awesome. I mean, he's 7'4". Nobody can stop somebody 7'4" going to the basket for an alley-oop. You can't stop it. No. So he's been awesome. And, you know, the Grizzlies have, speaking of disappointing, going back to disappointing teams, I was saying before the season, we're going to win. We're going to be so good. We are good. But they've been a little more disappointing, and I think it's because of the injuries. John Morant's out with an injury right now. You know, Mark Smart's out. You know, we just got Desmond Bane back. We can't catch a break, and I don't really know. It's kind of like the 76ers and the Bucks. It's like we're trying to, you know, feel it out because Chris Middleton's out for the Bucks right now with double ankle injury. Double.
Of course.
So, I don't know. But like we said, this is our last show before Thanksgiving break. We'll be out for a week. What are y'all's plans for Thanksgiving break?
I'm going to go home for a little bit, you know, beginning of the week, see some friends, you know, see some family. But then I'll be right back for the Egg Bowl, you know. Got to support the Rev. Hopefully, like we talked about, it should be a dominating win and then clinch a spot for the playoffs. So hopefully it's a weekend of celebration.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I'm going to head up to my friend's house, hang out with him for the week a little bit. But then I was begging him. I'm like, we got to come back for the Egg Bowl. We're leaving Thursday night, get here early morning, get to the Grove, have some fun. Last home game of the season. But yeah, I got to come back for that game, of course.
Oh, of course. I'm obviously coming back. It's my last home game as a student, so a little sentimental. But yeah, my cousin goes to state. She's a senior, so we're doing a little senior Egg Bowl tent. It'll be fun. But I am going back home tomorrow. I'm really excited. I'm going to go to the 2 Grizzlies games that will be there while I'm home. So eat some good food, see some family, and hopefully the Rebs win and get a playoff.
Yeah.
Spot. So
what more could you ask for?
What more could you ask for? Exactly. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. Once again, I'm your host, Campbell Holmes. Alongside me is Sawyer Ravino and Walker Farmer. Thank you so much for tuning in and tune back with us. Not next week, but the next week. Good night, everybody.